they do have a strong story that investors were willing to buy into. I know a lot of it is hype and hope, but it is nice to see that they did at some point get over that $20 mark. I mean, there's been a lot of companies, I mean, even like the Mind Meds and the Field Trips, I mean, they're still holding at, much lower prices. So
Absolutely, but they had high hope and structure, and
yeah,
they had the mystical, metaphysical guidance,
yeah.
understanding where they fit in their astrological cyclic wheel to help guide them, I think, forward, and the understanding of how powerful that energy is.
Welcome to another edition of Psychedelic Sages, where we provide intuitive insights, truth bust, and service watchdogs and guides for topics around spiritual medicines, more commonly referred to as psychedelics. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Psychedelic Sages. I'm Beth Bell.
I'm Stephanie Saul.
And today we're going to do another reading on the stock market, but specifically looking at Field Trip and GR Research. Now, we've chosen these two, one because Field Trip has been in the marketplace. They have ketamine clinics. They're in business. And the GR Research, because it's very intriguing. They're focused a lot on 5-MeO DMT, but they have probably been the strongest shareholder through all the ups and downs. They're still really steady. So we want to just tune in and see what's going on there, what's happening, and if there's anything that we can emulate and learn from for some of the other stocks. So Steph, let's just dive right in and let's take a look at Field Trip.
Okay, I love Field Trip, but let's just take a look. Their stock's been pretty low. I don't know what they have everything in place on the physical plane, but let's take a look at their energy and see what's going on.
Okay, well, you shuffled the cards. I'm going to pull up real quick. Okay, I'm going to pull up their stock here so we can get a feeling. So they were up around over $6, and now they're all the way down to just under $1. So significant fall here. And again, we have not gone in and looked at what's been happening is according to the press releases and their financial statements, which we will do. But the whole point here is to look through the back door, right? And see what's actually going
Exactly.
on energetically. So, okay. So I get to pick a card.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Yeah, it's to your right. It's right there, right there. Yep, right there.
Mm. Okay, we've got the Knight of Swords. This is a very interesting card. This card sometimes will mean symbolically rushing, things moving very quickly. Energy that when sometimes when companies find that they're on a downslide, they'll rush in and do make drastic changes quickly.
Right.
I think that's what Field Trip is in the process of doing. I think they're in the process of a little bit of a panic,
Okay.
because of the huge slide that they're experiencing with their share price. But this is also could mean energetically attacking what's wrong, what's not going well for the organization. So I think you're going to see a lot of movement with Field Trip. I think you're
When
going to
you
see
when
a
you
lot
say
of,
energetic attacking, are you saying internally, or just clarify that a little bit?
I mean, internal.
Yeah.
I mean, internal moving quickly to change things, to
Okay.
get themselves back on track. Because something definitely is going wrong, but they're in a position to move quickly. They know that something's wrong. They're willing to work on it. But I think you're going to see a lot of movement with this particular company. It could be a lot of press releases. It could be a lot of maybe internal shifting within their management structure. But I think you're going to see things being shaken up at this particular company.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it. Um, should we pull a card on the CEO? Should we pull a card on
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at Joseph, the founder and CEO of Field Trip. And let's feel into his energy and just see what's going on there.
Joseph Del Moros. Okay.
Okay. If you start, it's closer to your left side. It's closer to your left side, and then go right there, right there, right there.
Mm, interesting card. Yes. This is the card, the 3 of Cups. This is a card of celebration. I think, but also it could be the card of bringing in third-party consultants to really help move the energy of the company, the vision of the company forward quickly. So this is a very good card. So you're going to see major changes within the company in the next 3 days, 3 months, 3 weeks
Okay.
of celebrating their successes. They could have some very good news from FDA or some regulatory things that they really are going to celebrate. Some wins, some
That's
victories
great.
are due this company. And I think this company has done a lot of things right, but they're on just a course correction, just like the rest of the market is. So that's why I think that the CEO wants to work quickly. That's why we saw the Knight of Swords.
Yeah.
And now we see the result of that is cause for celebration.
Yeah, they really do have things going right. I mean, when set and setting, practitioners, the level of quality that they have in people in these clinics is outstanding. And a lot of times the first guys out the gate are the ones that take a big brunt because they're really doing the swimming upstream, if you will, as far as breaking through and getting the new patients and getting healthcare insurance and providers to recommend and to cover, or not cover, because it isn't cheap either to go and have these ketamine. Field trip is primarily they're ketamine right now because it's what's approved and legalized. So
Yeah.
very interesting. It sounds like they're on it. They're moving quickly. It'll be interesting to see over the next, whatever it is, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, how they change. They did also just add the at-home program. So they're competing in that space, which, we did a little episode on that a while back, talking about at home and some of our pros and cons of that. But yeah, interesting. What else do we want to learn about field trip? Anything today, or are we
Yes.
good with
The
this?
other thing about Field Trip that's really wonderful is that they have actual clinics, and they were one of the first to really put the emphasis on the environment, the beautiful lighting, the at-home atmosphere, the spirituality part of it. And, they've got a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
They have physical locations. So it may be a little bit more difficult for them to move quickly and adjust in that, but they're working on it. The other thing, from a timing perspective, I think you're going to see a lot of movement with this company after Labor Day. I just have that feeling for a timeline. I
Okay.
think the shares are certainly going to go up by the end of the year. But I like this company and I like the CEO very much personally. But again, celebration, probably regulatory movement really important, and maybe even getting the okay on some of their trials.
So putting our personal opinions aside for a second, which we always do when we're doing the readings, but the card is definitely showing that the CEO is the right guy at the helm. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
But the good thing about there's more than one person in the card, so he
Yeah.
does work with his team and he does listen, and that's very important because sometimes CEOs are just they're lone wolves. They just
Yeah.
want to listen to themselves, and we know companies that are like that. So I just think in this case he is listening to his team. There's females out here too, so the divine feminine is being represented. I think they are represented on the board, if I'm not mistaken, and in management. So
Yeah.
he is listening to his management and executive team.
Yeah, I'm also curious if they're in, not that we know this, but if they're in discussions for mergers and acquisitions
Yes,
in the space or with big pharma in some way,
I
because
think
that
so.
feels like it's coming in, at least, for me right now as a download, that there's some big discussions happening, and that's probably why those 3 cups are showing up.
Absolutely. We talked about the merger and acquisition frenzy that's going to happen between now and February. And I think they're in discussion with more than one company as to acquisitions. And they're in the right space for that
Yep.
because they have so many facilities and then they've got substances and products too. So they've got a myriad of things going on that could fill their cups. So absolutely I suspect that there are merger and acquisition targets in the field right now under
Yeah.
negotiation.
Okay. All right. Well, good stuff. Should we move over to the next company?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to looking now at GH Research, and they as you can see, are at $12.60. They've had a little bit of volatility, but they were up at $25. It looks like, last year, not quite a year ago, a little bit less. And they've also dipped down, but they've come back up a little. So I guess what I said earlier isn't 100% true because they haven't completely maintained it, but they've certainly maintained a higher stock value compared to anybody else in the industry to stay at that $10 mark or above. They're really unique in that sense.
They really are. This company is holding firm. They haven't really dipped and dived like some of the bigger players. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're doing energetically to hold firm and beat everybody else in the space as
Yeah.
far, yeah, not being as volatile.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's pick a card on them. GH Research. Which card? I think it's on your right side, but I can't see those cards. Right. Okay, I see it. Right. Nope. Keep going. Keep going to your right. To your right. Right there. Right there.
Here,
Nope. 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 Down. To the right. To the right. Right there. Right there. Yep.
I
Hmm.
love this is a card of the Hierophant. This is a very, very powerful card, but it usually comes up when you're talking about big pharma, big corporate. And the good thing about this card, though, is that it rules a company that has put all of their organizational structures in place. They know what they're doing organizationally. That means they've got the right executive team, management team, but also they've got the right consultants, the right advisors from all levels of the spectrum. So I love it. They're listening to their investment bankers. They're looking into their analysts. They're listening to people that are doing market projections. So I love the fact that we pulled this is a major arcana card, which means they've mastered the space energetically. This card also rules the sign of Taurus, which rules business and finance, where Uranus is currently parked right now. So this card gives them strength, it gives them foundation, it gives them enlightenment, it gives them so many structural solidarity
Yeah, it sounds like
within
the
their organization.
foundation is so strong that, yeah,
Yes.
that they do have all their pieces and parts together. Yeah, well, I'll be interested to look back and see who's on that board because I don't remember. It's been a while since I've done the research on them and where they all come from and how long that company's been around. Okay, so why don't we take a look at their CEO as well?
Yes. Absolutely very important.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at the CEO, Theus Turwey, and see what energy is around him right now.
Let's
Okay,
look at Turway.
all right.
Dr. Turway.
Um, it's interesting because there's two that are just screaming at me. We don't
We
normally.
can pull them both.
Okay, okay. So start from your left. Yep, and then up, up, up. It's towards the middle, actually. So there's that one. Yep, but then be careful when you pull it out so you don't. Yep, I don't want to lose. Okay, don't. Okay, but I want you to pull the other one too because otherwise I'll lose it. So can you take the second one right there in the middle, right there, right there. Take that one and let's set it down for later. Let's do the first one first,
Okay. Very
or
interesting.
together, however you prefer.
Okay. I'm going to do the first one. It's very interesting. I like this card. This is the card of the divine feminine, but it's also the card of the mystical.
Mm.
Interesting. I would be very interested to know if this company had not done a astrological chart on when to incorporate and use their personal business algorithms to get a handle on the market. This card is the card of mysticism. It's the card of the psychic. It's the card of the occult
Yeah,
and hidden energy. So I wouldn't be very surprised if they had gone to a financial astrologer and got some insight as to when to incorporate, when to use the power of the cycle of their businesses, the
yeah.
power of their astrology to take a really good handle on the market. I love this card, but it also is the card of the divine feminine. So there could be a very strong female advisor on the team, whether it's on a advisory or inside the organization within itself, that is really has a lot of vision and visionary and prophetic ability.
Okay.
So that's very interesting. Um,
Okay. Okay.
and then uh, paired with the Ace of Swords, which is the card of being able to cut through difficulties,
Mm,
being able to cut through the red tape, being able to slice away what no longer serves them or would never serve them in the first place. It's also the card of truth telling, being
okay.
able to be truthful within the organization. Hey, this is not working. Let's not do this, and move forward very, very quickly. I love this interesting combination of these two energies.
Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me that this is why they're winning, because they're doing things completely different. None of the other companies maybe haven't done the kind of mystical planning,
Yeah.
or maybe the CEO went to an astrologer and really um, got the cosmic blueprint in alignment with the company.
Yeah. All right. Well, it sounds like, yeah, he's really tuned in. Maybe he's just
Yeah,
a very tuned in person himself. And chances are, he has done 5-MeO DMT, which is very profound in opening gateways and pathways to really understanding expanded states of consciousness and ideas and concepts. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that just his own personal use, assuming that he has used the products, I don't know that he has, that alone would give him this psychic and mystic insight.
yes, because using the substance, he was able to download the vision of what to do and how to do it. And
Yeah,
it could have been totally different from what a McKinsey or management consulting firm told him to do. But he
yeah,
followed the intuition, and look how it is paying off. But he did
yeah.
something. He did something different, and he did something mystical.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, great. So is this a good time to invest? Again, we're not giving professional investment advice, but according to the cards and along with any additional information that individuals would look at, the cards are saying, I think buy.
Oh, absolutely. I think this company is absolutely a buy. And it could be a bargain at this particular price, because if they continue holding the way they have, it
Yeah,
could be a very, very valuable company. And if he did get the download, which I suspect he did, they know which way they're going, and they know the way
yeah.
the universe wants them to proceed and move forward.
Well, and we just recently had the FDA not put 5-MeO DMT into the Schedule 1 substance. So that spoke volumes for, I think, what's coming down the pike for,
Yeah.
yeah, for 5-MeO. So this is very interesting. And I also feel like they, I feel that because they were up over $20, they do have a strong story that investors were willing to buy into. I know a lot of it is hype and hope, but it is nice to see that they did at some point get over that $20 mark. I mean, there's been a lot of companies, I mean, even like the Mind Meds and the Field Trips, I mean, they're still holding at, much lower prices. So GR research GR research is right in there with Compass and Atai at that higher stock level.
Absolutely, but they had high hope and structure, and
Yeah.
they had the mystical, metaphysical guidance,
Yeah.
understanding where they fit in their astrological cyclic wheel to help guide them, I think, forward, and the understanding of how powerful that energy is. So
Okay.
this company is one to be reckoned with.
I think it is, but you know what? I'd like to pull one more card if we could, because I would like to pull what caused the fall from 20 to 10, from 20 to $10. I mean, we could come
Okay.
up with our own ideas and our knowledge, based on what's happened in the stock market, but I would like to see what the cards have to say about why did they have
I
that
like that.
fall.
Yeah, what caused the fall with the share price? That's a good question, and that
That's,
may be a question we should ask of all the companies.
yeah, especially because we know that their structures there, they have the mysticism, they seem well oiled. Okay. Um, Okay, this one's all the way to the left and it's just barely right there.
Here.
Right there.
Ooh, interesting.
Mhm.
This is the Eight of Cups.
Okay.
This is the card of departure. There was some person that didn't agree with the forward moving strategy that left.
Okay.
I think it left a vacuum in the implementation of the vision. Someone left or didn't agree, or it could be somebody in management that wasn't necessarily a big player, but energetically was a big player and that had ideas that just didn't mesh with the corporate structure.
Okay.
So I think there was some departure, but looking at it from a metaphorical view too, there could have been departure from the norm, from the normal corporate
Okay.
structure that caused the decline in the share price. So it could be one of those two things.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now just out of curiosity, I want to just go and look real quick. Okay, well, I want to look just real quick. So we saw the big dip April this year, April, May, April, May. I just like to go through here really quick. I'm just going to eyeball it and see if there's anything specific. Yeah, I don't see, there's nothing that I can pull out quickly.
I was saying that this could be just an energetic departure from the plans that they had originally
Okay.
decided that they were going to move forward on. Something wasn't working, and it could have been something of a organizational nature that just didn't fit the space. So they
Yeah.
departed from it, and it caused a little bit of a shift because there was like a vacuum.
Yeah.
Um, but that could have been what happened as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, these are all really interesting findings on these two companies, and I look forward to doing the deeper dive in the soul architecture to see exactly where they are and the bigger blueprint of their organization. So everyone stay tuned and you'll be able to see a lot more on these companies and the psychedelic stock market as a whole. All right. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. You can get more in-depth information on our Patreon site, Psychedelic Sages.